Luangwa Valley in Zambia is a wildlife paradise that captivates hearts and takes breaths away. The valley stretches along the Luangwa River and is one of the best places to watch wildlife in Africa. With its incredible diversity of wildlife, including massive elephants, hippos, lions, leopards, and rare bird species. In this vast land in 2020, the future seemed bright for the young cub Milo, newly born in the strongest pride in Luangwa, the Mwamba pride. However, the departure of his father from the coalition forced him to struggle to survive and face his fears alongside his mother, who tries to ensure the pride's future and save her cub from imminent dangers. The Mwamba pride consists of 20 lions, led by 3 males known as the Punks, who are the brothers Mohawk, Axel, and Spike. The 3 6-year-olds have established their territory, and their job now, like all male lions, is to protect their pride from dangers. The rest of the pride consists of 9 lionesses, 6 young cubs, and 2 other newborns. One of the lionesses, named Mopani, gave birth to 2 cubs, a female named Poppy and her brother Milo. Since they were born in the strongest pride in the area, their future must be ensured like most newborn cubs. Indeed, Poppy and Milo live a carefree life, and as the only young cubs in this pride, they receive all the attention from the adults. The close-knit family loves them very much. The time now indicates the scorching heat. It is October when temperatures in Luangwa reach their highest levels, and from the early morning moments, you can feel the heat, which will increase much more in the afternoon. Despite the intense heat, the pride must always be on alert, as they have one enemy who will not miss the chance to kill a weak wandering cub. It is the leopard, the direct competitor to lions, which poses a significant threat to them and will try to kill lion cubs whenever possible. To keep the cubs safe, the pride's males conduct daily patrols in their territory. It won't be long before Mohawk faces the leopard face to face, and he will certainly not hesitate to kill it. Although the leopard uses its superior tree climbing skills, it is not out of danger. In one of those chases, Mopani joined Mohawk, and they cornered the leopard, which chose to climb up a tree, confident that their heavy weight would make it difficult for them to climb after it. The 2 lions chose to sit under the tree trunk, making the leopard suffer in the scorching sun. After proving their seriousness by warning the leopard, the 2 lions head back to the pride, and the leopard later escapes after understanding the message. The pride's territory extends over 9 square miles. It is a beautiful mosaic of forests and savannas that form a unique, diverse mix of plants. All this beautiful nature is connected by the Luangwa River, one of the largest rivers in southern Africa, which is the only source of water. Because of this, many prey are forced to head directly to the Mwamba pride's doorstep, making this group's land extremely valuable, as the group specializes in hunting some of Africa's largest prey, primarily buffalo. As the sun sets and the temperature drops, a cool breeze prompts the group to move, then set off for a fruitful night hunt. The 2 young cubs, Milo and Poppy, take the opportunity to have one last milk meal before their mother sets off to hunt. The group leaves the cubs alone all night, and the adults may sometimes be absent for 24 hours at a time, so they must wait silently. As hyenas and leopards become more active as darkness approaches, the cubs resort to hiding in dense vegetation, and they must remain quiet and not reveal their secret hiding place. As night falls, the place becomes beautiful, and the distinctive night world of Luangwa appears. Despite the darkness, the Mwamba pride is at its best, spotting the vast table of thirsty prey that has traveled here from afar and does not know the terrain that the pride knows well. The target of the night was the puku, a strong, meaty antelope that stands about 3 feet at the shoulder. An adult of these animals provides more than 68 kilos of meat, and certainly, hunting one animal will not feed the entire pride, but it will help as much as possible to set off to hunt other targets that have spread and lost in the darkness. The disappointing thing is that the puku runs at high speeds, and the lion's speed, which reaches about 64 kilometers per hour, will not help easily catch the puku again, or at least continue running after the fast prey. Once they launch their attack, all the puku will flee the area. Tonight, the puku was faster. The pride failed to catch it, and the prey defeated its predator. Like all lions, the Mwamba succeeds in only 30% of its attempts. Regardless, the pride always looks for larger prey to make up for the shortage. With the vast number of prey moving into the Mwamba's territory, they will have many opportunities to hunt later. By the time the pride returns, the sun was about to rise, and Mopani calls the cubs to tell them it is safe to come out of their hiding place. But there is no response from the cubs. The lioness heads to where she left Milo and Poppy, knowing the danger of leaving the cubs alone with other hungry predators around. Finally, after hours of searching, Mopani returns to the pride with only one cub, Milo, as Poppy disappeared the previous night. With Milo being the only remaining cub in the pride, this has severe consequences, as caring for the cubs in the pride requires help from all the lionesses. Lionesses usually synchronize their breeding, meaning mothers can help each other with cub care duties. Unfortunately, without this help, most lone cubs like Milo are abandoned. In just a few hours, the pride's attitude towards Milo changes. One of the young cubs approaches with some threat to the small cub, and affection turns into bullying. Milo's world has turned upside down. Those who once protected him now scare him. Even Mopani, his mother, seems indifferent and does not intervene while the young cub hits her cub. For several days, the situation remained the same. It seems that Milo cannot get a moment of peace. As days pass, Mopani becomes more distant from her cub. Milo seems confused about what is happening. He sneaks away, seeking safety among the thorn bushes, and for the first time in his life, he truly feels alone. For male lions, the average time they spend leading a pride is only 2 years, and the punks have already been the Mwamba males for a year and a half. They are now 6 years old, in their prime and strength, and will become weaker as they age. The window of opportunity left for them to spread their genes is shrinking. With only one cub to show for their efforts this year, they decide to make up for their loss and leave the Mwamba pride to find new females. For Milo and the pride, losing the pride's protectors is a disaster, as a pride that loses its males becomes weak and makes all its members more vulnerable. The punks begin searching for new females to spread their lineage. Their journey takes them east across the river, which marks the edge of the Mwamba's territory, to the land of the Hollywood Pride, a small pride consisting of 4 females formed last year. They were led for a while by an unknown wandering male who fathered 3 cubs, but none survived the rainy season. Axel, the bravest of the punks, is the first to venture up the riverbank and try to explore the new pride's territory. Usually, venturing into new lands requires great courage, as crossing boundaries is a highly hostile and dangerous act, the main reason for the death of male lions who have to fight fierce battles with the dominant lions in the area. Initially, the punks took a cautious approach. They feared signaling their arrival to avoid engaging in a bloody battle if there were other males in the area. But the pleasant surprise was that the lion who met them was a strong and friendly young female who welcomed them with open arms, ready to mate, especially after losing their cubs. The 4 lionesses were waiting for the arrival of these strong males to give birth to new cubs and protect their coalition. Indeed, it happened as the punks imposed their strength and control over the existing females. These males naturally need the females to carry out hunting operations. After the mating roars subsided, a large prey was spotted nearby. Mohawk intervened immediately with one of the lionesses who preceded him to the prize, but she conceded the prey to Mohawk. It is the tax of protecting the pride, as the females will bear sharing their prey in exchange for the punks' protection. The punks settled well 8 kilometers away from the Mwamba lionesses, who are having a hard time after losing the protection of the males. They now have 6 inexperienced young cubs to feed, who cannot offer much help in hunting, and they have a small cub struggling to survive. The dry season is the perfect time for lions to focus on hunting, as hunting around water becomes easiest. Despite this, the Mwamba lionesses failed to achieve enough kills to feed the remaining 16 members of the pride. Everyone is hungry, and soon Mopani will not have enough milk to feed Milo. If 5 days pass without food, her milk will dry up, and she will lose her cub. To feed everyone, a group of this size must hunt buffalo, which is the most ferocious herbivore in Africa, weighing over 600 kilograms, with thick skin like armor and horns designed to stab and kill a lion. It should not be underestimated at all. The lionesses may have speed and agility, but to bring down a buffalo, they need the weight and strength of the massive males, who do not usually participate in hunting, but would intervene when it required bringing down a large prey like a buffalo. Today, the Mwamba lionesses miss the punk's males. Despite repeated attempts to hunt buffalo, they fail again and again, but their desperation drives them not to stop trying. Clouds form as evening falls, and it's time for the Mwamba to hunt again. Preparing for the hunt, Mopani takes Milo to a hiding place, and as darkness falls, the group begins to spread out for surveillance and search for a potential victim. They manage to identify one of the prey, a huge bull. As the lionesses rush towards it, everyone tries to jump on its back and bring it down, but its immense strength and thick skin prevent their sharp claws from penetrating it, in addition to its deadly horns that cannot be approached. After this new failed attempt, the buffalo escapes to the swamp. Hunger strikes the pride again, while dawn breaks on Milo, who is still alone in the jungle. With the pride out hunting all night, this becomes frustrating for the hungry cub, and without siblings his age, Milo feels very lonely. He must learn to be vigilant and keep his eyes and ears open for danger, seeking shelter from leopards watching from afar and hyenas looking for something to eat. Fortunately, the pride returns from the hunt in time. With this large number of lionesses, the leopard will not try anything, even in the absence of the males defending the group. The October heat in Luangwa worsens the situation. It hasn't rained since May, but the clouds that started to gather are about to change the conditions. Indeed, the rain began, welcomed by the wildlife in all its seasons, bringing prosperity to the area and filling the pools with water. However, this falling prosperity has its adverse effect on the lions, as the prey that used to gather around the few water pools will spread out again. On the other hand, the punk's males disappeared for about a week before reappearing near the river. 8 days have passed since the pride last hunted. Mopani's milk will soon dry up. If the Mwamba pride wants to survive, they must lure the males back as soon as possible and start hunting some buffalo in hopes of catching one. Therefore, the pride must take a big risk, led by Mopani, as they will travel east in search of the males, crossing the river and entering the territory of the Hollywood pride. If the little Milo cannot keep up, he will certainly be left behind. Despite the rain, the rivers are still shallow, and the group is lucky to cross the river. But the deep water is not the main danger. This area is infested with massive Nile crocodiles, the largest crocodiles in the world. Huge numbers roam the river, looking for a chance to catch an animal stuck in the deep mud. They too may not have eaten for weeks, waiting for an opportunity like this where there is no time for table manners, with their jaws being among the strongest in the animal kingdom. Regardless of the danger the pride may face, the group must cross the river inevitably. With high concentration, the lionesses move forward, tension gripping the entire group. The terrified Milo walks behind them, having never seen water like this before. This might be the defining moment of his life. Something pulls Mopani back. The worst thing Milo can do now is stop, but he ventures bravely. Despite the increasing depth of the water, he must swim if he wants to save himself. A crocodile moves to catch him, but Mopani's roar, driven by her maternal instinct, pushes her to defend her cub and protect him as he advances. This might revive the mother-cub relationship. After surviving the river, the pride faces a new obstacle, the high riverbank ahead of them. It is barely possible for the adults to climb it, and for Milo, it is impossible. Once again, the group leaves him behind, except for Mopani, who did not forget him and gently carried her cub to safety. After the drama of crossing the river, the mother and cub calmed down immediately. She lay down to nurse him, and the intimacy and affection returned between them. It seems that Mopani's changed behavior towards Milo resonated within the group, changing everyone's treatment of the brave Milo. The family bond preserved the pride, but they still need a feast to satisfy their great hunger, and the males to ensure their protection. Mopani sends her call to the Hollywood territory. A lioness's call can reach more than a mile. If the punks hear her, they will have to respond. The lionesses will not risk venturing further into enemy territory, especially since they do not know what they will encounter here. So the Mwamba lionesses wait in place, hours passing without any response. Then night begins to fall. It seems their efforts to find the punk's males are in vain. As the sun rises, disappointment is evident in the group. It's time to return home, but a familiar sound pierces the quiet morning air. It is the male mohawk, followed closely by Axel. It has been a week since the lionesses saw their males, and they welcomed them with great affection. Shortly after, Spike also appeared, completing the pride's reunion. After spending some time with the 4 Hollywood Pride lionesses, the punks may have decided to return to their former pride, which has better hunting opportunities with them. They can now cross the river again to the Mwamba territory, and Mopani can finally relax and devote her time to her cub, with the support the eager-to-return males will bring. The males' strength appeared immediately upon the pride's return, as they helped the lionesses bring down a huge buffalo, providing a meat-filled meal for the group, a meal they had missed for a while when starvation nearly wiped out the entire group. The pride finally enjoyed the best food they had since the males left, now enjoying full bellies for the first time in a week. It had been a tough week in which the Mwamba pride overcame the fear of hunger. As for the brave little cub, he now has a bright future, and soon he will also have a group of young cubs to play with and integrate into the group. The pride's future seems secure again to create their own glory in the wild.